Hey Reddit, throwaway account for obvious reasons. Buckle up, this is a ride. I, 34M, have been married to my wife, let's call her Claire, 32F, for 7 years. On the surface, we look like the picture-perfect couple, two successful professionals, no kids, by choice, nice house, active social life. People would constantly say how lucky we were to have each other. But if you peeled back the glossy Instagram veneer, you'd see things started going sideways around year 5. Claire became distant, like, emotionally checked out. At first, I chalked it up to work stress. She was up for a promotion at her law firm, and I know she felt pressure to prove herself in a very boys' club kind of environment. I tried to be supportive, cooked more often, picked up the slack around the house, gave her space when she needed it. But her attitude changed. She got snippy over stupid stuff, like if I asked her what she wanted for dinner or if I left a dish in the sink. Little things turned into full-blown arguments. Sex? Basically non-existent. We went from 3 to 4 times a week to maybe once every 2 months. And even when it did happen, it felt transactional. Like I was just there to scratch an itch. Here's where the mess starts. Around that time, I met Eli, 29F. She worked at my gym, newly hired personal trainer. I wasn't looking for anything, I swear. But one day, she saw me looking like absolute crap after a rough night and asked if I was okay. One conversation turned into 2, into coffee, into texting. Next thing I knew, we were in the kind of emotional affair that feels almost inevitable when you're starving for attention. Yes, I eventually slept with her. Not proud of it. I know I crossed a line, but I wasn't doing it to replace Claire. Stupid as it sounds, I thought maybe if I scratched my itch, I'd have the patience to keep trying with Claire. I didn't want to end my marriage. I wanted to fix it. So a few months into this, whatever it was with Eli, things started getting weird. Not with her, with Claire. Out of nowhere, she started being nice again. Like, suspiciously nice. Suddenly, she wanted to go on date nights. She was initiating sex again. She'd send flirty texts while I was at work. And yeah, part of me was relieved, maybe even hopeful. But another part? That part was like, nah, something's off here. Here's the moment it all cracked open. One Saturday morning, Claire told me she was going out for brunch with her friend Jules. Nothing unusual, Jules is her gossip buddy, and they get mimosas like it's their job. But Claire forgot her phone on the kitchen counter. She rarely ever forgets it, which in hindsight should have been the first red flag. Anyway, about 30 minutes after she leaves, the phone lights up with a text. That was amazing last night, face-blowing kiss, can't stop thinking about you. And guess who it's from? Eli. I literally sat there staring at the screen for a good minute, trying to process what the hell I was looking at. My stomach dropped. I opened the thread. Yeah, I know, privacy invasion, spare me. I paid for that damn phone, and it was all there. Flirty texts, meetups, little can't wait to taste you again messages, and dates that overlapped with when I was seeing Eli. At first, I thought maybe Eli was two-timing both of us. But then I saw one message where Claire wrote, he has no idea about us. If he ever found out, he'd snap. Us. US. I remember saying that out loud like a lunatic in my kitchen, just repeating us, like it would change meanings if I said it enough times. That's when the realization hit me. My wife was cheating on me, with the woman I was cheating with. I literally handed my wife the knife and pointed it at my own back. Yeah, that happened. I didn't even wait for Claire to come home. I was pacing the living room like a madman, phone in hand, rage barely bottled. The second she walked through the door, smiling, sunglasses on, to-go coffee in hand, I asked her flat out, "How long have you been sleeping with Eli?" Her face froze, like I slapped her with a brick of ice. She tried to play it off at first, did the whole confused act. "What are you talking about? Eli? The gym girl? You're being paranoid." But I just held up her phone and showed her the messages. She went pale, then red. Then, and I still can't believe this, she had the audacity to say, "You had no right to go through my phone. That's a total breach of trust." Excuse me? I legit laughed out loud. Like, the bitter, "you've gotta be kidding me" kind of laugh. She's out here full-on scissoring my side piece and I'm the villain for checking a phone she forgot at home? Then the story started shifting. At first it was just a mistake. It only happened once. Then after I pointed out multiple messages over weeks. Okay, fine, it was a fling. But only because I knew something was going on with you. Now she's trying to reverse Uno me. Suddenly I'm the cheater who drove her into another woman's arms. She goes full drama mode, starts crying, says she felt unwanted, unloved, like I was emotionally abandoning her. I swear if there was a fainting couch nearby, she would have collapsed onto it like some soap opera villain. But here's the kicker. In the middle of this meltdown, she drops this gem. At least I'm not sleeping with a stranger. Eli and I actually care about each other. Excuse me, what now? So not only was this not a one-time thing, it was emotional, ongoing, and deliberate. It wasn't a fling. It was a full-blown affair. A relationship. With the same woman I was seeing on the side. I walked out of the house and sat in my car for 2 hours. Just sat there. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stared at my steering wheel like it was going to tell me what the hell to do next. So there I am, sitting in the car like a ghost of myself, running through every version of the past few months in my head, trying to make it make sense. Spoiler, it doesn't. Eventually, I go back inside. Claire's on the couch, all puffy-eyed with tissues everywhere like she's the one who just caught me cheating. The whole vibe was please feel sorry for me, and honestly, it made me sick. I told her flat out. I know about you and Eli. I know it's been going on for a while. And yeah, I've been sleeping with her too. So congratulations, we're both garbage. Dead silence. She blinked a few times, like that piece of info needed buffering. Then came the rage. You what? I can't believe you would do that to me. She lost her mind. Started yelling about betrayal and trust and how disgusting I was. And I'm just standing there, stunned, watching my cheating wife scream at me about my infidelity with her mistress. I genuinely thought I was being punked. And just when I thought we'd hit peak insanity, she dropped a new bomb. Well, I'm moving in with Eli. Yup, just like that. Apparently, they'd been planning it. Behind my back. While I was thinking maybe Claire and I could work on things. While I was sleeping with Eli thinking she was just my escape valve. She said Eli made her feel seen, like she could finally be herself. She also casually mentioned she'd been by her whole life and just never felt safe exploring it with me, like that somehow justified lying, cheating, and planning an entire new life while still playing house with me. And then she had the absolute gall to ask if we could stay friends because she didn't want to lose me completely. I told her she lost me the second she started sleeping with my side piece. Like, are you high? So yeah, that was my Tuesday night. So after Claire's big mic drop, I'm moving in with Eli. I just sat there in shock. For days. Like a zombie. Going through the motions of life but not really living. I didn't eat. Barely slept. I went to work looking like a raccoon in a business casual button-down. And here's the kicker. I still loved her. I hated her, but I loved her. That contradiction ripped me apart. She had betrayed me in the most insane, surreal way possible, and part of me still hoped she'd wake up and say, just kidding, it was all a mistake. Let's fix this. Of course, that didn't happen. Instead, I started getting texts from Eli. Yeah, her. She said she didn't mean for it to happen this way, and that emotions are complicated. She hoped we could still talk, maybe even be honest with each other now. Like we were all in some twisted poly-drama and I was supposed to just adapt. I ignored her. But something snapped in me around day 4. I was sitting in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking, why did I let either of them do this to me? And that's when my inner demon rose up from the emotional rubble and said, nah, we're not going out like this. Petty? Absolutely. But at that moment, all I wanted was balance. So, I called up Eli's ex, a guy named Marcus. She had mentioned him before, said he was controlling, clingy, and a little obsessive. I figured he'd be perfect. We met up for drinks. I played the innocent card at first, just told him, hey, I heard you and Eli had history. You might want to know she's moved in with a married woman. That's all I had to say. He went full CSI mode. Apparently, he'd been keeping tabs on her socials anyway. And yes, before anyone says it, I know it was toxic. But honestly, it felt good to light something on fire after they torched my entire world. Meanwhile, Claire and Eli started flaunting their relationship online. Couples selfies. Gym dates. Cringe captions like, finally free to love who I want, purple heart dot. They even posted a pic outside our house, the one I still paid the mortgage on. That was it. I told Claire she had 30 days to get her name off the lease and find a new place. She tried to negotiate. She actually asked if Eli could move in until they got on their feet. I laughed in her face. So after I laughed in Claire's face about moving Eli into my house, she went full meltdown. Like screaming, crying, calling me heartless. Said I was punishing her for being her true self. Nah, babe, I'm punishing you for stabbing me in the back with my own knife. She moved out 2 weeks later, tail between her legs, but not before taking the good blender and my PS5 controller like some petty breakup trophy hunter. Anyway, here's where it turns again. Remember how I said I ignored Eli's texts? Well, I eventually responded, not because I wanted her back, but because I had questions. Real ones. And maybe, yeah, a little part of me wanted to mess with her. We met at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. She looked nervous, maybe a little guilty. She started off with the typical apologies, didn't mean to hurt me, didn't know she'd catch feelings for Claire, yada yada. But then I asked her, when did it start? With her. Be honest. And this woman straight up looked me in the eye and said, the day I met her. Yup. The day Claire came to the gym to check out where I was spending so much time. They locked eyes. She said there was an instant connection. Claimed they were just talking at first, and that she didn't plan on it going anywhere. Except it did. Fast. And here's the real kicker. We used to talk about you. A lot. She said she wasn't happy. I just wanted to help. Excuse me, you wanted to help my wife by secretly sleeping with her while also banging me? Mother Teresa, but make it slutty, apparently. But wait, plot twist time. Eli then said something that made my stomach drop. She told me you were abusive. Yeah. Claire told Eli that I was controlling, manipulative, and emotionally neglectful. That I made her feel trapped. That she didn't feel safe ending things with me, so she had to escape. Let me be clear. I've never laid a hand on her. Never yelled. Never threatened. The worst I ever did was walk away from a fight. And now I find out she's out here slandering me to justify cheating? I felt sick. Like I was watching the whole truth dissolve into some weird reality-bending PR campaign where I was the villain and she was the brave lesbian breaking free from oppression. And I realized Claire never loved Eli. Not really. She used her. Just like she used me. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about love. It was about control. About Claire rewriting the narrative so she didn't have to feel guilty. Or small. Or wrong. So you know what I did next? I made a decision. So, after that coffee shop confession with Eli, where she casually told me my wife had painted me as an abuser to justify their little forbidden love affair, I was done. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Done playing the nice guy. Done hoping for apologies that meant something. Done pretending I could salvage anything from this nuclear crater of a relationship. Claire wanted me to be the villain in her story? Fine. Let's make it memorable. Here's where it gets spicy. Remember Marcus, Eli's obsessive ex I had drinks with? Turns out he had screenshots. Lots of them. From when he and Eli were still together. Eli had been sleeping with Marcus and seeing Claire at the same time. So now we've got a full-blown love rhombus, and everyone's been lying to everyone else. I sent the screenshots to Claire. She denied it at first, obviously. Said Marcus was manipulating things, that Eli was confused and experimenting. The usual deflection cocktail. But I knew she believed it, because within 24 hours, Claire's Instagram went dark, and Eli moved out of the apartment they'd just gotten together. Oh yeah, they got a place. With a lease. Together. And now it was crashing and burning before their IKEA furniture even got delivered. But I wasn't done. I called up Claire's mom. Why? Because her mom always loved me, and I was petty. I laid it all out. The cheating. The double timing. The slandering. The fact that Claire had been telling people I was abusive while living in my house rent-free and using my Amazon Prime account to order books titled, Healing After Emotional Trauma. Her mom was horrified. And guess who started getting family group texts begging for an explanation? Claire. The narrative she built was falling apart like a dollar store bookshelf. Meanwhile, I started working out again. Cleaned up. Cut my hair. Started dating, not for revenge, just to remember what it felt like to be wanted. To be seen. And here's the poetic twist. I ended up getting close to someone I'd met before any of this mess, an old friend from college named Danny. We reconnected over coffee and trauma bonding, because apparently, she'd also gotten cheated on by her now ex-fiancé. It was low-key at first, but it felt real. No secrets. No lies. Just two people trying to rebuild. Claire tried to contact me. Of course she did. Sent me a long, overly poetic email about understanding the damage we did to each other, and how she hoped one day I'd look back and see the beauty in our collapse. I didn't respond. You don't owe closure to people who burned the house down and handed you the ashes like a gift. After Claire's artsy-fartsy, let's reflect on the ashes email, and after ignoring it with the same energy I reserve for spam calls about my car's extended warranty, life finally started, leveling out. No more surprise betrayals. No more dramatic texts. No more waking up in a cold sweat wondering if I was losing my mind. Just silence. And let me tell you, silence is underrated. At first, though, that silence was loud. Deafening, even. I'd be driving, and suddenly I'd remember something random, like Claire laughing at one of my stupid inside jokes, or the way she used to make pancakes every Sunday. And it would hit me like a truck all over again. She's gone. But worse, she chose to go. It wasn't just betrayal, it was replacement. She didn't just leave me. She replaced me with the same woman I was trying to escape into. And then she replaced her too. There's something humbling about realizing you were never the destination for someone, just a pit stop while they figured out what they actually wanted. So yeah, I spiraled for a bit. Therapy helped. I won't lie and pretend I had it all together. I was angry, insecure, even paranoid. I didn't trust people. I didn't trust myself. I kept asking, how did I not see it coming? Why did I fall for someone like Eli? Why did I let Claire lie to me for so long? But then something shifted. One day I woke up, made coffee, looked around my house, my clean, quiet, peaceful house, and thought, I like this version of my life. I liked waking up without walking on eggshells. I liked not being gaslit into doubting my own memory. I liked not having to check someone's phone or wonder why they were 2 hours late from yoga. I liked being alone. And then I stopped feeling alone. Danny, this steady, kind, whip-smart woman who knew all the ugly and never flinched, became more than a rebound. She never tried to fix me. She just sat with me in the mess. And that's rare. Way rarer than good sex or candlelit dates. It's real. And real feels so damn good after fake nearly kills you. So, fast forward a few months. Claire and I are legally separated. Divorce papers signed, filed, done. No courtroom drama. No teary last-minute monologues. Just a couple of signatures and a notary who looked like he'd seen way too much of this exact situation before. I boxed up the last of her stuff, some clothes, a few books, a mug that said, Wife Life, Irony, and dropped it off at her sister's place. No note. No explanation. Just closure in cardboard. And yeah, it stung a little. Not because I wanted her back, but because I remembered who we used to be. That first year together? Magic. Like two puzzle pieces finally clicking into place. We had traditions, little rituals, private jokes that no one else understood. But here's the truth I had to choke down like whiskey with no chaser. Sometimes, the person you build your life around is the one who quietly tears it down behind your back. It wasn't about Eli. It wasn't even about me. It was about Claire needing to be someone else and torching everything in the process to make space for that version of herself. She reached out one last time. Sent a simple message. I hope you're okay. I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted it. No reply. No dramatics. Just delete. Because I am okay. Finally, I'm with someone who values honesty over drama, effort over excitement, substance over spectacle. Danny's not some cinematic soulmate I waited my whole life for. She's a real person who chooses me every day. And that means more than fireworks ever could. I also forgave Claire. Quietly. Not for her, but for me. Holding that kind of anger is like drinking poison and expecting her to die. I'm done with that. I forgave myself, too, for being blind, for staying too long, for thinking love alone could fix a person who didn't want to be fixed. Looking back on all of it, the betrayal, the lies, the messy revenge, the rebuilding, I think the hardest thing to accept was this. I never knew Claire at all. I didn't know the person she had become. And that's okay. Because now I know who I am, and that's all that really matters. If I could give advice to anyone in a similar situation, it would be this. Don't ignore red flags. The gut feeling is real. That knot in your stomach when something feels off? Trust it. Don't make excuses for bad behavior just because you're scared to be alone or scared to admit you're wrong. I knew something was up, but I ignored it for the sake of peace. Peace isn't worth your dignity. Know your worth. I spent years doubting myself, wondering what was wrong with me. But the truth is, nothing was wrong with me. What was wrong was the person I chose to love. When someone betrays you, it's a reflection of them, not you. Your value isn't tied to someone else's loyalty. You don't need closure from the other person. Claire never gave me an apology I felt was real. But I gave myself closure. I stopped waiting for her to fix it or explain herself. I had to heal, and that didn't require her. If you're waiting for the person who hurt you to make it right, you'll be waiting forever. Don't fight fire with fire. Revenge? It's fun in the moment, but it doesn't fill the hole inside. Trust me, Once I saw the chaos unfold between Claire, Eli, and Marcus, I realized it didn't make me feel better. It just made the mess bigger. The only thing worth fighting for is your own peace. Let the rest burn if it has to. It's okay to move on. For the longest time, I thought I had to hold on to my past, as if forgiving meant forgetting. But forgiveness isn't about erasing what happened. It's about giving yourself permission to live beyond it. There's no shame in moving on, and no shame in loving someone else after the mess. Finally, I learned that healing is messy. It doesn't happen in a straight line. Some days are great, some are terrible. But with time, the bad days get fewer, and the good days feel fuller. As for Claire, she's out of my life for good. I hope she finds what she's looking for, though I doubt she will, because no one can run away from themselves forever. As for me, I'm stronger than I was before. And, frankly, a hell of a lot smarter. If you're reading this, stuck in your own version of this story, I want you to know, you'll get through it. You'll rebuild. And when you look back, you won't just see the scars, you'll see the strength it took to survive. Take it from me, your best days are ahead. Just don't waste them waiting for someone who didn't care enough to fight for you.